All right. Okay, so hold on. I need to screen share. That's what I need to do. I'm going to screen share with you guys. Welcome to your Getting Started Right call. We just wanted to welcome you all to your new coach training and welcome you to our team. We're happy to have you, and we hope that this is helpful and that you guys get something out of it. And just feel free to ask lots of questions, and we will take it from there. Now I just need to figure out how to screen share. Oh, there we go. Okay, so basically, like, you joined as a coach, and so the biggest thing to understand is that there's going to be a process to becoming the coach that you want to become, and just understanding yourself and understanding the way that coaching works and the ways that maybe it doesn't work. There's going to be lots of trial and error, and just kind of trust the fact that we've all been there. We've all gone through this process, and when we tell you to go back to the basics and to start with that basic new coach training that you guys are already doing right now, just trust us. We've been there. We've done it. Some of us have done it multiple times. Just because it's so helpful to be able to, sorry, I'm going to delete Facebook. It's just so helpful to be able to see, I guess, just the basic 1, 2, 3 kind of process. So the new coach training, it's a 21-day coach training. We have a Facebook group right now, and then there's also a link that you can go to, and you can do all of these trainings as quickly or as not as quickly as you like. There's no right or wrong way to do the trainings. There's no really right or wrong order, but the trainings they go through, like day 1 yesterday was to find your why. And so, like, I know, Anne, you already went through and you had like a really good, well thought out reason for why you became a coach. And I could tell like that you had obviously spent time over, whether it was just yesterday, but really it was kind of more like it was a cumulative thought process that you'd had over maybe this last 5 or 6 months of you just kind of observing other coaches and observing, just observing the lifestyle that you were wanting to help create, but not quite there yet. And so now you're here. And so the fact that you have a really strong why is huge, because coming back to that day 1 and that why is really, really key. I know some of us start off and we like, even some of the top coaches, they say like until they really defined their reason why they were doing this, they didn't have a strong foundation for their coaching business. And so it became really hard to expand after a certain point. But anyway, so each of these days, they just go through just kind of like the pieces of being a coach and what we do daily. So like tomorrow you'll get to talk about becoming a coach on social media and sharing that with, friends and family in some kind of a way. And then the next day is all about developing the mindset of a Beachbody coach. And we'll go into that a little bit more in the next slide. But later this week, we'll talk about setting up a free challenge group for clean eating. And then we will help you guys do like a 5-day free clean eating or free fitness group. I think in the last month, we did like a fit focused challenge group, and we just had like coach made videos that were really good. And that group had a really good turnout. We hadn't ever done one like that before. So we might do that again. But we'll just kind of go from there, but we'll teach you how to use social media tools to create like an invite that's simple and that is pleasing to the eye and catches the attention of people scrolling through the news feed on Facebook or Instagram, just so that they see it and they go, oh, well, I kind of want to figure out what this is all about. How do I do that? And it's a free group, which is always appealing. So anyway, from there, we'll talk a lot about social media and the tools you can use. The videos will talk about a few tools you can use to brand yourself and to use on social media. And then we'll kind of go through challenge groups, and participating in a challenge group is going to be helpful, of course. And I don't really know, I don't want to go into every single thing, but basically, we'll talk about using your resources and where to go when you have questions. You could always come to your upline sponsor coach, which would be like for you, and that would be me. But if you have questions and I'm not answering them quickly enough and you need to get them answered at a quicker pace, then you can use Teampages. And so it'll talk about that and just where to go for all of these answers to questions that will come up. We'll talk about expanding your network on social media, because if you have like 500 Facebook friends, eventually you're going to talk to every single one of those 500 Facebook friends and you'll run out of people. So we'll teach you how to expand your network and just talk to more people on social media and getting comfortable in that aspect. Providing value, presenting the business, time management, all of these things are just really beneficial pieces to growing your business and to taking it one step at a time as a new coach. And so as you're doing each of these things, sometimes though they might reference something that you haven't heard of yet. And if they reference something you haven't heard of yet and you're not quite ready to move on there, then don't worry about it. And if you have questions, then just ask. You can ask in the new coach training page we have on Facebook for the November group, or you can ask in the message thread that we've added you to. Either one will get a response. The message thread might get a response faster just because the message will pop up. And I think this morning I woke up and I had 87 notifications. And I was like, holy snap, not looking at all of those. Anyway, so the last day of the new coach training is kind of like the ideal day that we want to have you guys feeling a lot more solid in just doing the basic things that a coach can do and just starting to build the way that you want to run the business. That's kind of the hardest thing I felt like for me when I first started as a coach, was that I felt like I wanted just like a script for exactly how to do it every single time. And sometimes the script, quote unquote, for like inviting might work, and I could kind of like tweak it a little bit here and there. But most of the time I kind of had to play around and just test things out and see what worked for me and what worked for certain people and what worked for other people didn't work for this person. And anyway, but so just from this page about the training, do you have any questions, Anne? You're off mute. You can talk.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
I was like trying to figure out how to switch it back to the chat. No, I don't have any questions so far. I'm really excited about it. I liked day 1's training, and then I'm getting ready to do day 2 training with my little notebook, and I'm taking notes, and I'm excited about it. I look forward to feeling a little bit more confident, because I have seen the posts that you make, and they are so attention grabbing and inspiring, and they're a big reason why I'm here today. So I know that they work and they're effective, and I don't know how I'm eager to know how to get there with my own posts. So
yeah, well, definitely. So on days 7 and 8, when you're getting into those parts of the training, branding yourself and using social media, just kind of start asking if you have questions about specific pieces of like specific tools you can use for social media, then let me know. And I will, I'll make a note on my calendar. I'll make a note right now. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll make a note for here. To just go ahead and share something with all the new coaches, so that you guys can all see some ideas for how we come up with posts and things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's honestly, if you scroll all the way back in my news feed, like a whole year ago, basically, if you want to try and scroll back that far, it would take a while. But if you scroll back really far in any of the new coaches' news feeds, all of their posts start out very different from the way that they are right now. Like we all kind of started with feeling awkward and not really sure how to phrase things and trying to like get people on board with us, but not really sure how to do it in a way that was going to be motivating and how to do it in a way that was aesthetically pleasing. And so it's been fun for me as a mentor for a few of my coaches so far to see like even just in the last few months, how their posts have changed, just based on them seeing more social media posts from either from me or from other coaches, and just being exposed to different ideas and just being able to be more creative with the way that they're doing their posts. And you'll find that you get a really good response some days and a really not so great response other days. It's just kind of like the trial and error that I was talking about. You just kind of have to play around with it, and there's never like a for sure system for it, because Facebook has some weird algorithm that they do, and same with Instagram, where you might post at the same time one night and then post the same time another day. Nobody's going to see it one night, and the next day 50 people are going to see it or something like that. And so it's kind of frustrating, but we'll teach you a little bit of how to try and, get around that. And that will all come with time. Okay. So if you don't have any other questions on just the training stuff for right now, then I'm going to go ahead and move on to this next slide. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. So vital behaviors. And Chelsea, if you want to jump in, you can actually, I think you can unmute yourself whenever, if you want to jump in, if you have anything to say, because I'm no expert.
Sounds good. My kids are just noisy, so I'm going to keep it on mute.
All right, so vital behaviors. These are the 3 things that Beachbody is going to talk about. They talk about them all the time. Like if you listen to any of the national wake-up calls, they're going to talk about the vital behaviors like every single national wake-up call. I don't think that they don't ever skip talking about the vital behaviors in some aspect. Almost all of the national wake-up calls for coaches are based on one of these aspects of the vital behaviors. And they came up with the vital behaviors because these are the 3 things that if you do these things consistently over time, every single day for, whatever your work week is, you can set it to be 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. I like taking at least one day off. Sometimes I do some stuff on Saturday, sometimes I don't, but I like to at least take Sunday just to have for myself. But if you do these consistently over time for a long period of time, then eventually they start to pay off. So the first one is to be a product of the product. So to be a product of the product means that you're drinking your Shakeology, or you could be doing using the Beachbody Performance line. There's a new line, Anne, which we'll talk a little bit about later, but you don't really need to worry about it too much yet. But there's a performance line, and there's also Shakeology, and those are the 2 different things that you could be on Home Direct Order to be like participating in by drinking them every single day or using them every single day to help with your overall health and things like that. So drinking your shake, and of course doing your workouts, paying attention to what you're eating, just being a good example. And the main reason for being a product of the product is it's pretty obvious. Just that if you're not living the lifestyle that you claim to be promoting, then it's going to be obvious, whether it's going to be obvious by your physical appearance or it'll be obvious just by the way that you behave in general around other people, that you claim to be this different person who's living a different lifestyle, but you're really not. And so it's just to kind of help us not be hypocritical. Don't get me wrong. We all have our days of being real and being like, dude, I just ate ice cream and it was amazing. But just to try and be consistent with doing a program and completing a program. They talked about that on the National Wake Up Call a couple weeks ago. Like going from start to finish on the 21 Day Fix, and going from start to finish on Insanity, or whatever program it is that you choose to participate in. But just showing up every single day and sharing that consistently on social media. That's the way that we mostly talk about being a product of the product. That's why, coaches post workout pictures, or they show pictures of their meal plans or things like that. And it's just to help people in our audience know that we are being consistent with what we're claiming to want to help them do. The second one is personal development. And personal development, and you and I have talked about this a lot, but it can be listening to things on a podcast. It can be reading 5 to 10 pages or, for 10 minutes out of a good book that's motivational, from that list of personal development books that I gave you in your New Coach Notebook. It could be, what was I going to say? For anyone who's religious, it could be part of, your daily scripture study, or like listening to some kind of a religious speaker. For me, that I count that towards my personal development because it's helping me become a better person. That's really the basis of personal development. And so, your trainings and things for new coach training, that can count towards personal development because it is going to help you become a better person and a better coach. But at the same time, we don't want you to just do trainings. Think of the trainings as like your work moment or your work 5 to 10 minutes or 30 minutes, however long it takes you to complete each little task. But then your personal development should be something that you do separately, that you're just doing for you, whether it's that you're focusing on your marriage or your parenting. Like I plan on reading Love and Logic because my 2-year-old is a nut and I need to figure out how to help him make better choices so that I'm not going crazy and my husband's not going crazy. But the personal development aspect of it is so big because what you find as you're doing personal development consistently is that you're going to be a more uplifting person. You're going to have more to share every day because you'll have thoughts going through your head, whether you do your personal development in the morning or the night before, but you'll have these thoughts going through your head from this positive, motivational kind of, side of things. And that helps to kind of shut out all the negative sides of what do you call it? Like a negative Nancy voice that kind of goes in the back of your head and tells you, no, you can't do all of these things. That's not possible, whatever. And so when you're feeling more positive, you then are going to be like in talking to other people in person or over social media, you're going to come across as a lot more positive. Let's see. And I always feel like when I'm lacking in some area of the vital behaviors, it's usually in personal development, which is silly because for me, personal development is probably the most important part of my day because if I don't do personal development, I'm kind of a grump. But at the same time, because it's the most important part, it's also the hardest part, if that makes sense. The last one is to invite. And this one can be kind of confusing because it comes across as this idea that you need to invite like all the time. Like, oh my gosh, somebody just like mentioned they need to lose weight. I need to like jump in and be all like, who do you want to do the 21-day fix with me? And as a new coach, I remember that was kind of the way that I behaved about it. And I took it very literally and I kind of had some success with it and I kind of didn't. And it just kind of depended on the person. Thankfully, the people who accepted the 21-day fix challenge from me initially were family. And so they were my guinea pigs. But at the same time, one thing that I've learned is that inviting can be through sharing. So when you're being a product of the product or you're doing your personal development, you can be sharing on social media different, individual posts and things about your personal development that day or that, the previous day, sharing a quote from your personal development with a sweaty selfie on Monday to be like, dude, do your workout today. Being a product of the product when you're drinking your shake. I know a couple of the coaches post pictures sometimes of their kids drinking their shake with them, which is, because Shakeology is not just, we don't want people to think Shakeology is just this kind of adult thing, because not that we give it to our kids all the time, but just that it has essential vitamins and nutrients and superfoods that are good for everyone, not just for people looking to lose weight or people that are coaches or things like that. But inviting is done a lot as a coach just through sharing what you're doing. And when you're being a product of the product and you're doing personal development, you're then naturally going to have things that you want to share, and you're also going to be more able to share them, if that makes sense. I kind of feel like that didn't make any sense, but that's just my head. Do you guys have any questions? Chelsea, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I was going to add a couple things. So back to product of the product. I think about, I heard this example. I can't remember where I heard it. Could have been in their coach training. Can't remember. Anyways, so they talked about how if you went up to somebody and they're like super great skin and you're like, man, I want skin like you. And they say, oh yeah, I sell Mary Kay. I use Mary Kay, yada, yada, yada. You're like, okay, I want Mary Kay because I want skin like you. And then you go in their bathroom and find the cheap brand from the store. You're not going to be like, well, she obviously doesn't use Mary Kay, so why should I use Mary Kay, So that's kind of how it is. We can't just say, oh, do these Beachbody programs and then I'll be doing them. People want to see you. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyways, that's kind of how I think about it.
Yeah. One of the things for me that I had a hard time with for a long time I'm more comfortable with it, but I still feel kind of weird about it. It's just making videos of myself exercising. Like I don't make crazy long videos. They're usually 15 seconds long total. And they're just a short little clip of me doing the exercises, but they're ways to kind of just like, I guess, offer proof to the people who know that I exercise every day, that I am doing something and that I'm doing the 21-day fix, or that I'm doing, whatever it is, and that I'm being accountable to my own goals, and that I'm then therefore able to help them with theirs.
Yeah. And another thing on personal development is I think of all my weaknesses and how I want to improve them. So like, I'm not a very good people person. I'm just really introverted and I just don't think about other people. It's kind of rude, but so I'm trying to be better about that. So I'm choosing books that help me help that become a strength, not a weakness, because I think this is a people helping people business. And so I really need to up my people skills. And so I'm reading books. John C. Maxwell has a lot of good leadership books. So that's how I focus on personal development, is how can I strengthen my weaknesses to make me better in that area?
Yeah, I think that was really good.
And that's pretty much it.
And do you have any questions about these three main parts of the vital behaviors?
No, I don't. I mean, they all make a ton of sense. I would not be nearly as confident and excited about this program if I hadn't watched you like transform your life over the last year or so. That was just so inspiring, because I saw you when you first started, and you were like, I'm taking this journey and I'm going for it. And then you were showing, selfies and showing before and after pictures, and it was fantastic. And you were so excited about the Shakeology in the mornings, and you were talking about how you were overcoming things that I know I struggle with all the time. And even though you still struggled with them at times, that you were able to pull yourself through them because you had made yourself a product of the product. You were working out, you were eating better, you were taking time for personal development. And so all of these do go together so well that, I feel like it makes so much sense to integrate them into your life heavily and to really go at it with everything you have.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that when they came up with the vital behaviors, they had a really good reason for it. A very good reason for it. So just kind of briefly to talk.
Can I say one more thing real quick?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Another thing on personal development for me is I can get discouraged really easily. So like if someone says no, or I'm having a hard time, or coaches quit or something, I can feel really discouraged. And I'm like, man, I just want to quit. What am I doing? And then a lot of times I'll go back and watch the new coach trainings and I'll get so excited about coaching again. And I'm like, I don't even care. So sometimes I'll just do that for personal development, and just because it makes me excited about it again.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, the alert to tell us your meeting ends in 10 minutes. I think that's super helpful. I should really do that, because I had a period of time a couple months ago where it was just like, I felt like my coaches were dropping like flies. I was like, holy snap, what do I do? I feel like a terrible leader. But, so just know that the personal development is there it's there to help you kind of prepare for and to fight against the hard times that you have, whether it's in life or with coaching or in parenting or, whatever it is. Okay, so just really quick, social media. Like you said, Anne, part of the reason that you even decided to join as a coach is because you saw me sharing consistently on social media. And so, and you didn't join as a coach like 2 days after you started a challenge group, or, I consistently posted, and by you just continuing to see that in your newsfeed over time, eventually it sunk in and you were like, hey, I do actually want something. I want something and I want to do it this way. And so I need to get on it. And so sometimes it takes people a lot of time, and that's why we share consistently on social media, is because sometimes certain times of the day people won't see things and other times they will see things. But the value in sharing is partially going to be just making sure that you understand that whatever you're sharing you want it to have value. I kind of like talked in a circle. You want it to have value to your audience. So that's part of one of the parts of the new coach training talks about branding yourself and learning about what it is, like based on your why, what it is that you want to share with other people to help motivate them and to inspire them and to find your ideal customer, your ideal coach, just the people that you really want to target and to I don't want to say target because that sounds weird, but like the people that you want to notice, because they're the people that you want to inspire and the people that you know would be uplifted by something like this. And just the people that you know you could work with, the people you know would be really motivated, those kinds of people. So having value and sharing, and then sharing what you think has value. It's, partly about being consistent and letting your audience know that you're there. So that's why we share consistently 2 to 3 times a day is the recommendation for a new coach. Some coaches, like some days I post 2 or 3 times a day. Some days I post 5 times a day. And you're going to have people like my family, honestly, my family doesn't really like to follow me on social media anymore because they're just sick and tired of seeing the same stuff all the time. And because I'm family, I pop up in their news feed a lot faster. So you're going to have family members to ask you, like, why are you doing this? Why are you always posting? Why are you, why do you post 6 times a day? Why do you post 3 times a day? They're just, somebody's going to have a problem in their mind with whatever you're doing. And just keep in mind that what they feel and what they're offended by or what they think is, okay on social media doesn't have to be your opinion. And that for you to build a business, you have to be consistently present on social media right now. That's the way that this business works. That's the way that a lot of online businesses are beginning to transition to. And Beachbody kind of, I feel like, has a head start because we've been doing this for a long time. We have a lot of training. There's so many. I mean, you can, if you type in Beachbody social media training, there's going to be hundreds of, probably thousands of videos that pop up on YouTube to help just kind of train you in what to talk about in your posts. So, for example, things you could post in a social media post in Facebook or Instagram, or both. You can share at the same time on both. But you can post pictures of your workouts, sweaty selfies, food pictures, dinner ideas, recipes, showing your family, just showing that you're, honestly, it's kind of just about showing that you're a real person and that you are well-rounded and that, like just showing them you don't have to show them every single little aspect of your life, but just showing them the aspects of your life that are important to an audience that want to see that you're, as a coach, you value being able to be home in the future with your family. So they want to see that's important to you. They want to see that you're not just stuck behind a computer all day doing Beachbody things, and that you're out doing fun activities with your kids or with your with your spouse, those kinds of things, that you're taking time for yourself, because that's part of what this business is about. It's about finding freedom to be able to do things for yourself. There's times that I might post I guess what we maybe would call like a real post, where you're just being more real with people. And you're not being quite as, I don't know, it's kind of the idea that if you paint this perfect picture of your life, nobody's going to want to follow you, because the more perfect somebody looks on social media, the less appealing they are to the general public, as a whole. And so when you show that you do have flaws and you do have, whether it's in a before and after photo, and you show like, look, this was where I was before, this is where I am now. I'm still not where I want to be, but I'm willing to share it with you because I feel like this is a success. This is, whatever it is. So those kinds of posts are just a few examples. I'm going to show you just a few pictures these are Noelle's pictures. And a few, actually, I think there are a few of our pictures, actually, like multiple, like Chelsea, is this you right here? Yeah, I was like, I think that's Chelsea. That looks like a little girl in the background. But just showing, that you value a family workout lifestyle when you have kids, sharing your personal development, what book you're reading, before and afters, transformation. Transformation Tuesday is a day like, what is it today? Today's Tuesday. That's where I'm at. I don't remember what day it is. Showing, what you do in your office daily, what just in general, what your meal prep looks like, just showing that you're being consistent with the workouts. Other examples could just be to have, like, find something on Pinterest that you felt like is inspiring. And you can share those kinds of things. Anyway, social media. So just there's 3 minutes left, Dan. So do you have any specific questions on social media right now, or do you want to, like, kind of just play it by ear and ask questions as we go?
Yeah, I don't have any questions at the moment. Those all look like fun, and I can't wait to start posting them.
You don't have to wait any period of time. You're totally welcome to post a picture of whatever you want to post a picture of.
And I guess I could. I want to learn how to.
Of your workout DVDs and say, look, I just started doing the 21-day fix again. Who wants to do it with me? I need a partner.
I should. I really should. I'm so nervous. I don't know why.
Oh, don't be nervous. We're all nervous, honestly. We honestly, I feel like I'm still nervous every time I post. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little like, ooh, what if this is a total bomb of a post? And sometimes it is, and that's okay. So just really quick game plan. As a new coach, I do want you to start posting and sharing at least once every day. You don't need to feel like you need to jump in and post 3 times every single day for the next 3 months. You'll work your way up to that point, but just start with at least one social media post, whether it's in the morning before you go to work and you're listening to personal development in the car, or on the way home, making dinner, doing your workout, doing your trainings, whatever it is, just showing something, not even necessarily coach related, but just showing something on social media, because the more that frequently you post, the more frequently you will be seen in other people's news feeds. So just starting that pattern now will help. And then secondly, the vital behaviors, be a product of the product. You're already working on that. Doing your personal development. I know you're doing that. And just inviting. And so just starting to talk to people and building connections again, or, restarting conversations. And then, of course, as you're doing the new coach training, applying what you're learning every single day. So just setting that time aside to do the training, after you've done, workout, personal development, whatever it is, setting that time aside to do the training, and then take what you've learned in the training and spend 10 to 15 minutes where you practice it in some way, whether it's right then or later that day. So I hope this was helpful. This note down here for a weekly call Monday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I think we'll kind of put this on we'll see it, like what we need to do. We might do another call with you guys next week, and then we will see where we need to go from there. Chelsea, I'd totally let you add something, but we have like 20 seconds. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording, and then the video is going to end. All right. So thanks for getting on. You guys are awesome, and you're all going to do great. I believe in you. I'm going to go ahead and